And welcome to the ethics of experiments. So, anytime we're doing an experiment and we are trying to look at the effects of a particular treatment, that involves giving individuals a treatment. And sometimes the treatment can be rather, um, I don't know if invasive is the correct word, but it can um, be something that not everyone would agree to. So we certainly do not want to force a treatment on an individual when they do not want to take the treatment. There have been many cases in the course of history, and chances are there are cases currently going on now where, for some reason, researchers or some group of people have decided that others are um, uh, essentially not as human as they are and that they don't deserve to be treated as people with their own rights and have just experimented on people without giving them any choice whatsoever. But hopefully, that's we no longer are doing that, and that's not something that any of us will ever be doing. Um, so, uh, anytime you're doing an experiment and you're doing something that will have impact on a human or an animal, human specifically, because we can make choices and understand someone's choice. Um, we want them to have the option to participate or not. We don't want to force a treatment on them. In some cases, it wouldn't even make sense to prescribe something as a treatment. So your textbook uses the example of smoking. Um, and it certainly does not make sense to go to a certain group and tell all of the individuals to start smoking. We have fairly strong evidence that smoking is bad for your lungs and bad for your health, and it's highly addictive. So it would be ridiculous to try to force people to start smoking. So this is a case where an experiment would not really make sense, and we really could only do an observational study. Um, there are plenty of medical experiments where you don't want to force someone to participate. So medical experiments, often the sample is not randomly selected. It's just once they have the sample, they use random assignment to split between the control and treatment groups. Um, so basically, when you're doing your research studies, you want to make sure that you pay attention to individual human rights and ethics and not design your experiment in such a way that those get tossed out. Um, so, just something to be aware of, even though experiments really is the only way to officially prove cause and effect. Sometimes it's not an option. And so then often they'll do a whole series of observational studies um, as a way to try to show cause and effect. So, um, just something to keep in mind. Statistical studies in general, ethics is an issue, but particularly with experiments. Bye.